Hello friends, welcome back. In this tutorial, we will study about arrays. An array is defined as the collection of similar type of data items stored at contiguous memory locations. So it means that each element of an array is of same data type and the elements of the array are stored at contiguous memory locations. It means second element of array is stored immediately after the first element of array. Third element of array is stored immediately after the second element of an array, and like this. Elements of the array can be randomly accessed by using their index numbers. Now, let us study how the arrays are declared. So, the arrays can be declared in this way. First, we need to write the data type. It specifies that the elements of array are of which data type. Then we write array name. And after array name, in square bracket, we specify the size of array. For example, as you can see here in this statement, first we have written the data type int. It means in this array all the elements are of type int. Then we have written the name of array, that is marks, and then in square brackets we have specified the size 5. It means this size, it means that this array marks, it can hold 5 integer values, right? Now, accessing the array elements, how we can access the elements of an array. As I have told you earlier that the elements of the array can be randomly accessed by using their index number. So, elements of an array can be accessed by its index, and in arrays the first element has the index 0, right? So arrays have index 0, right, as the first index. Now let us see. So consider this array marks. Its size is 5. It can hold 5 elements, and its type is int, right? So it means the elements of this array marks are of type int. So the first element of this array marks is marks 0, right? Its index is 0. So it can be accessed by writing it like this, array name, and then in a square bracket we will write the index. So the index of second element will be 1, index of third element will be 2, index of fourth element will be 3, index of fifth element will be 4. So you can access first element by writing like this, marks, in a square bracket you will write 0. Second element can be accessed like this, you will write the array name marks, and then in a square bracket you will write the index, that is 1. Third element can be accessed like this, and so on. Now another is initializing an array. So it is possible to initialize an array during its declaration, as you can see here. So here you can see that in a declaration we have initialized this array marks, whose size is 5, right, and whose type is int, right? So it stores elements of type int. So to initialize, what we have done here, we in a curly bracket we have written the elements of this array. So its size is 5. So here you can see that we have assigned 5 elements, right? And since the type is int, so all the elements are of type int. So in the first element is 19. So first element of this array is 19. Second element of this array is 10. Third element is 8. Fourth element is 17. Fifth element is 9. So if we initialize array during its declaration, so in this case there is no requirement to define the size. We can write it like this also. So here you can see that in this statement we have not specified the size of array. Now we can initialize an array by using the index of each element. We can initialize each element of the array by using its index. Now consider this array. Its type is int, and its size is 5. So this array can hold 5 elements. It can hold 5 data items of type int. So here you can see we have assigned the value of first element, right? So here in this statement you can see that value of first element is assigned 80, value of second element is assigned 60. You can see here in this value of third element is assigned 70, and like this. So what we can do, we can initialize each element of the array by using its index, as we have done here. Now let us see an example. Now let us see this example. Here in this program, first I have included the header file, and then you can see this main function. And in this main function you can see the first line. First I have declared an integer variable I. In second line, you can see that I have declared an array and I initialized it also within its declaration. Name of this array is marks, right? And its size is 5, and its type is int. It can hold 5 integer values. So here you can see that I have initialized also this array in its declaration. So these are the 5 elements of this array which are in this curly bracket. First element is 20, second element is 30, third element is 40, and so on. You can see here. Now I want to print all the elements of this array, right? I want to print each element of this array marks. First element should be printed, then after that second element should be printed, then third element. So for that purpose, you can see that we can access the elements of array by their index. So here I have used a for loop. So this for loop, in this what happens, initial value of I is 0, and this for loop will run as long as the value of I is less than 5. So initially what happens in starting, the value of I is 0. So this term will be printed, marks in square bracket I, right? So in starting value of I is 0, so marks in square bracket 0 will be printed, and 0 is the index of first element. So the first element of array will be printed, that is 20. So when in next pass the value of I will be 1, so what happens? Marks 1 will be printed, right? And it is what? It is the second element of an array. Then similarly in next pass, the third element of array will be printed, this one, right? Because in third pass the value of I, right, it will be 2. So in this way, by using the for loop, we can print all the elements of array one by one, starting from the first to last.